everybody, welcome back. Glad you made it. It's another So-So production. Welcome back. It is Monday, August the 15th, 2022, baby. We're outside with the beautiful people of the city. Today is gonna be, oh man, before we get in, let's get loose first of all, because today's gonna be, I've got a feeling about this one. Sip to you guys and gals. Let's go ahead and get loose a little bit if we can, if we may together, get a little bit comfortable. Perhaps take a little bit of our own advice. What do we say? The lower you go on the buttons, the chiller you get. So let's go ahead. That's 1, 2, plenty of chill, nice and relaxed. That's right. Because a lot of times people think that the cleavage is only meant for people in Florida. People in Florida, or ladies for that matter. But guess what, fellas? Ha! Two can play it this way. Eyes up here. They never went down there. Good, excellent. We're all on the same page then. But we're halfway through the month, and yeah, today it's not gonna lie to you. I wrote a lot, been thinking about a lot. One particular thing that happened over the weekend that got me just thinking thoughts. And we'll get right into it, but we're gonna take it easy. We're gonna take it nice and slow today. It's gonna be a chiller episode. We'll see if we'll get a chance to speak with anybody, but if not, if just things are remaining the way they are and it's just you and I, we're gonna have fun regardless. Now, are you guys ready for a show? Are you guys ready to rock and roll? Are you strapped? Good, because if that means you're prepared. Well done. What happened over the weekend? Well, this particular weekend, the news or story that I'm going to be talking about is brought to you by none other than the same frame of thought that brought us the likes of the Will Smith, Chris Rock slap. The same frame of mind that brought us the Shinzo Abe, yeah, you know me, assassination. And now, over this past weekend, we just had another similar event. What happened? What am I talking about, fam? I'm talking about, if you've not heard, this is, oh God, this is terrible news, but it's, you know, there's light at the end of the tunnel and it's not over. So it's not so, it's terrible. I'll get into it. We'll get into it. We'll break it down. We'll decipher it together. We'll unpack it, repackage it, sell it again, see what happens. But there was a attempted assassination, if you want to call it, attempted murder, if you want to call it that. And it was a who was getting attacked, who was getting attempted murdered. None other than the underground UK hip-hop artist sensation Sal Rushdie. That's right, Sal Rushdie, UK hip-hop / rap / trap house artist of the year, artist of the past several decades, an artist, a rapper. Sal Rushdie was, somebody came after him. He was performing, and this was all, you know, we double check the facts, we triple check it, and you know me, when I do research, it's dependent on how much I'm into the topic. And this one, I gotta say, we'll get into it. But Sal Rushdie is a, you know, hip-hop artist, a beautiful man, famous for one of the, you know, he dropped some mad bars. He gained his, you know, he came to prominence through one of his works titled, one of the bars was called The Satanic Verses, if I'm not mistaken. Mad lyrics. Check it out. I've still not had the chance to listen to it myself, but you know, he's talking about need I say more? First of all, satanic verses. I think it's all in the name of the book, not a book, CD. Back in the tape, cassette tape, CD player, track. I think he started on SoundCloud. I don't know. I'd like to, you know, I'd like to know more. I'm learning. but he dropped a couple of bars titled The Satanic Verses, and apparently it didn't sit too well with some people. A lot of people liked it. It sat really well for 99% of people. Roughly less than 1% of population is not cool with it. And that's art. It's subjective. You can be not cool with it. That's fine. But this is now, we're now trekking in the gang. Is this the 90s again? Am I feeling a little bit of that East Coast, West Coast rivalry? What is going on? What were the verses? The Satanic Verses? I don't know, man. I don't know. I've not listened to the full thing, but I think somehow in the midst of all of that rapping and trapping, I think he offended, you know, some potential Muslim extremists. And if you go out there and offend Muslim extremists, knowing full well how tolerant they are, well, man, you know, so how did that happen? I don't even know the full story. Apparently, he made some references. It triggered a few people. I think it triggered a bunch of people. You know, he used the name. He used the name and he dropped the name. The name was Muhammad. Dropped that bar. Mad lyrics. And Muhammad's a popular name. One of the most popular names out there. Not particularly here in this part of the world, but in the Muslim part of the world. You know, I'm talking, what am I talking about? Muslim. I'm talking Middle Eastern area / maybe Sub-Saharan Africa region area. A good portion of the world, it's a prominent thing. You know, for the most part, the ones that practice it no big deal. But there is always those few that go a little bit, you know, too dedicated to whatever it is. They take it a little bit too far with things. And some people have done that in recent history and currently taking it far. So he uses a name. Apparently some people might not like the name. I don't know why, because it's a beautiful name. He used it. You're like, what's wrong with Muhammad? Maybe you're out there, maybe you're a Middle Eastern / Sub-Saharan fellow named Muhammad. There's nothing wrong with that. Beautiful name. Nothing to get angry about, nothing to get your panties in a bunch over, you know what I mean? Or you're nothing to get your dashiki in a bunch, you know what I mean? It's just good times. Some other people who weren't even named Muhammad got offended apparently. Somebody, I'm not too sure about all the facts. It's a one-man operation. What do you expect? All right. Apparently, an imam from the 80s got offended too. An imam, and I don't even know what an imam is, dude. I try to Google it. Apparently, an imam is, from what I gather, it's kind of like what we did with cigarettes, like e-cigarettes. I think they're electric mothers. That's what I'm getting so far. So these electric mothers, back in the 80s, one of them at least, got really upset for some reason, because you know, if you look at the picture of that particular imam, and you're like, man, this guy looks super happy and just like, you know, one with humanity. Take a closer look, won't you? Take a closer look at the imam, the quote-unquote alleged. What is an imam? I really don't know. I really don't know. Some say either an electric mom, maybe an emo mom, maybe a energizer mom. I don't know. There are other rumors. Some say an imam is something like, you know, maybe like for a point of reference for us, some like a priest of sorts, a clerical priest of sorts. Clergymen and women, or imams. I don't know. It could be, it's hit or miss. Doing a lot of research. It's still ongoing, of course, as things are unraveling. But apparently, you know, to recap, underground hip-hop sensation, trapper, rapper Sal Rushdie dropped a couple of bars, Satanic Verses, no big deal, you know, great reception worldwide. A few people got upset. And an imam, an electric mom, apparently set out this thing called a fat one. She put out a fat one, dude. She put out a fat one. Imams be, you know, queefing fat ones out there, and I don't even know what a fat one is, dude. I'm trying to figure it all out. Bear with me. We'll try to get to the bottom of this together. A fat one apparently is one where you just, I'm because I'm not a female and I'm not electric, but if I were an imam and I was trying to like let a fat one rip, dude. Something to do with the queefing mechanism. I'm barely a white belt queefer, so I think once you get to black belt, where you're all just covered in black, head to toe, you apparently, you know, you can give yourself some powers, like a fat one. And a fat one's basically this thing, like, you know, it's kind of like, oh, I want to put a fat one on you. It's kind of like a hex, kind of like a voodoo, kind of like a little, you know, oh, I want to put a spell on you. Oh, I want to put a spell on you. That's what a fat one is, from what I gather. Again, these are things may get lost in translation, but I will do my best to bridge the gap. I just want to say, as a hip-hop fan, a fan of rap, underground music, trapping, I was shocked and I was saddened, but I am glad to hear that Sal Rushdie is alive. He's with us, he's kicking, he's breathing. More so breathing than probably kicking at this point, but he will be kicking nonetheless. And you know, some say this is actually beneficial for Sal D, because Sal D, or Rush D, Sal Rush, dude, Sal Rush, they say he can be potentially the next 50 Cent. He could be the next 50, dude, because he got stabbed, he got shanked 12 times, and he's still alive to tell the tale, which is, again, and seriously, in hip-hop, you guys, we need to start collaborating together. All sides, I mean this. You'd find yourself having far more in common than you do when it comes to differences. You'll have far more things in common, but I get it. It makes for good, you know, everybody needs a street cred, dude. Everybody needs that street cred. So I get it. And I'm happy to hear that, you know, it wasn't fatal. But nonetheless, some guy who heard that an imam's put a fat one out there, potentially inspired by the idea, most likely inspired by the idea, he went out to, you know, attempted shanky poo. Not a successful one, and 12 times, you really suck at shanking, son. Gotta tell ya. 12 shots and you suck. You suck. And that was just, you know, somebody honking and concurring with us. Good morning, sir. Morning. That's what it is. But 12 times, you know, 12 times is it a coincidence? Was it sloppy work? Was there any premeditation? Was there any thought? Because some say, you know, 12 is the number of imams or prophets in the Islamic world. At least that's what I think, dude. 12, they had 12, and like what was a prophet, an imam, or what? It's basically like the Islamic version of a rock star, if you will. That's basically it, to simplify things so that you can understand. Some boys being really, like, you know, you'd hope that they grow out of it in their teens, they, you know, they grab a solid grasp of life and just, you know, appreciate the artist from the, you know, don't, you know, it's a whole thing. We'll get into it. I'm still trying to make sense of it myself, but yeah, so 12 was, you know, probably the number of imams or prophets or what have you, a lot of profiteering going on. And Or was it 11? 11 was a soccer team. 11 was a solid soccer team. 12 was also a good number. 11, 12, 13, give or take, roughly between those few numbers. They had a thing going with that number. It was a special number to them. It still probably is. Yeah, you know, people, numbers. Who doesn't like a little bit of OCD, dude? You know what I mean? So, you know, the fat one was released a long time ago. Nobody really, you know, there were attempted completions of the fat one. Didn't really take off. Most people came to their senses. But in the outer, you know, outer layers or parts of society and cringe, and like, you know, in the periphery, there's still some that might hear something and get inspired to do wacky, crazy shit. And somebody did. Somebody decided to take it upon themselves and get really offended. You know? Maybe he was named Muhammad. I've not read into, I don't think he was named Muhammad, dude. I could see if you know, if somebody really makes fun of your name or a good name in your culture that you might get, like maybe your name Muhammad, and then you're like, I'm Muhammad, dude, is what you'll say, or it might sound something like this. I'm Muhammad. I'm Muhammad. My father was Muhammad. His father Muhammad. His father Muhammad. My mother's name Muhammad. My goat Muhammad. Rooster Muhammad. You can see where it could mean, you know, it's a popular name. Just saying. And also, you know, so if it was like a family member, then maybe, but then again, it's still a name. And you're like, oh, it's more than just a family member. It's all about profits and money and margins. Rushed for profits. That's going to be the name of the episode. Rushed for profit. Timestamp that. Somebody remember that. I don't even know what timestamping is, dude. I've heard it. I like it. I want to go with it. Timestamp that. Title of the article, rather video, because I am. After all, you're getting a mixed bag today. You're like, is this Detective Rob Sadri? No. It's just yours truly, Reg Rob Sadri, doing it with you. On a Monday, where can you find these videos? YouTube, Instagram, Patreon, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. Point is that, again, if it was, you know, you're like, it's a special name. Isn't every name special? You're like, but it was a prophet. And you're like, well, what about all the other prophets that are, or you know, Jesus, Buddha? Those are really the only other ones that I can think of. And they get joked around with all the time, and they're the best, dude. And that's why I fucks with Jesus, dude. That's my dude. Because, you know, we've been there. We've talked about this. Jesus you can hang with, shoot the shit with. You know. Mo's a little bit uptight. Or at least, maybe Mo's not even uptight. Maybe the people interpreting Mo are a little bit uptight. But that's just me trying to grasp things. You know? But it's interesting to think about these things. It's you know, and I'm very glad. Like I like to repeat this. I'm very happy that Sal Rushdie is still with us and capable of producing lovely music, because love wins. At the end of the day, love wins, man. But you might wanna get a different opinion. And for a different opinion, we're gonna transfer over to our Middle Eastern / Sub-Saharan correspondent so that we can have a conversation, maybe get a glimpse of the other side, so that, you know, we get an idea of what's going on. And hi, I'm your Middle Eastern Sub-Saharan correspondent. Hello, I am your there it is. There it is. Oh man. Good morning, sir. Oh. As a thank you for calling me in. I know you don't there are lots of other people you may like to reach out to. Khamala. but you reach out to your boy, and I like your program. Khamla. To begin, there is a red Lamborghini. He felt the vibe, you know. The only thing missing was the tiger from that Lambo. He had the suicide doors not working. Rather, they're not called suicide doors, they're flap wing doors, which I liked as a child. Not so much khala now. But thank you for calling me in. Yes, what happened over the weekend, Khamsa, was and I'm hoping this is generic enough accent to cover entire Middle Eastern / Sub-Saharan area. So like which exact region, I don't particularly know. Khamsa it's in there, look for it. What happened over the weekend was everybody was shocked. And what is my occupation? First of all, my occupation is I'm butcher. I butcher animals. For you, me, and everybody in the neighborhood, you get the most halal meat right here. The most halal. Or haram, I don't know which one you like. I give both. One station haram, one station halal. Because that is like the entire market I'm playing. Ha! You think I only serve halal? Please. But if we can be serious for a second, when I heard the terrible news, I was, you know, mixed feelings, mixed bag of halo emotions like you out there. Because it's hard to be, you know, it's hard. I tell you, it's hard. It's hot out here with the butchering, and the media doesn't help. It's the heat and the media and the butchering. But overall, the media doesn't help, but we don't help either. I'll tell you. Okay, if somebody doesn't help, we don't help either. I tell you, I keep it 150 is why you come here. Khamala Khamsa. So let us, before we unravel and unpack and diagnose what happened over the weekend, let us go over the basics of what is haram, what is halal, what is khalas. Lots of people get confused. I sometimes have to write it on the palm of my hands, and today you can see I've not written on my hands, so I will try to resort to good old memory. Khamsa shisha. What is haram? Haram is bad. Bad. You don't want no haram in your life. Haram, I don't particularly know why. Some things. What is a good example of haram? You might bacon haram. Why? Tastes wonderful. Low-key, I eat when wife not look. I think she eat when I don't look. It keeps the marriage going. Bacon. Haram is forbidden juju. Forbidden bad no. Is business you don't want to be part of. Haram. Halal on the other hand. Oddly enough, if you do haram, you're only left with one hand, so... Ha! Interesting. Halal, on the other hand, I was saying, is good things that we decide, so not me, generally speaking, haram sa someone. And we go along with it, but it's nice. It gives us nice identity. Everybody likes identity. Who doesn't like identity, right? Khamsa. Now, and then the last one, you might have not heard of this one. I give you this one, you know, just a little cherry on the top. Khalas is when you just don't give a fuck, frankly. And I myself tend to go khalas a lot of times. I'm like, whatever, this, that, the other, khalas. And you know, like with my buttons today, I said khalas. And we feel great. What were we trying to achieve here today? I don't understand. Perhaps some common ground. Okay, all right. Man, thank you, Mohammed, that was our Middle Eastern / Sub-Saharan correspondent representing, generally speaking, everybody. I would say everybody who is Muslim feels like that guy that you just, thank you. Khamsa. Man, what a great callback. Point is, fam, that we need to find common ground. Where do we find common ground? Perhaps where we're standing today. After all, is this not ground that we're standing on? And is it not common? Not common enough for you? You're really distracted by buttons, aren't you? No, you're not. Good, because this is, I know this is giving off that, you know, Miami Heat, Vice City sort of vibe, but it's not that type of thing. Serious business. Point is that we need to find common ground, okay? And as a professional jury detective, also part-time Care Bear, aspiring comic, I like to find the funny khamsa in there and find the, I don't know, dude, common ground. Yeah, that's it, common ground. Common ground. So, where can we find common ground? As we can, okay. What, okay. So that was an act of, you could say perhaps, that was an act of, I would only take, if I were to take a stab at it, I'd say, God, any God you might believe in, probably thinks violence is haram. Most likely. Unless again, you're going really loose with the interpretations, putting in your little 2 cents on it, things can get squirrely. So, point is, fam, that we need to find common ground, and the common ground we can see, okay, the act of the Shankipu, attempted murder. That is, where can we find common ground? Do we put a fat one on? Do we reverse it? Do we reverse it? Do we fight fat ones with fat ones, dude? Put in 2-3 fat ones in there, dude. Because they think they can put fat ones here. We'll put fat ones there, dude. We got plenty of fat ones here, fam. You want fat ones? You got fat ones, doggy. And and the thing with us is we'll supersize the fat ones. You think your fat ones are fat. We'll give you some fat ones you've never even seen. Yo, I will legit find somebody that is having a difficult time just uplifting themselves from the couch. We'll FedEx that shit. Sun, shine, rain, wind, snow. Fat ones on your ass. Is that the method that we should pursue? Reversing fat ones with fat ones. But you're like, no, let's find some common ground. Excellent. Lettuce, tomatoes. An attempted Shankipu murder is basically, if you could extrapolate, pull back, objectively look at it, it may be a form of, some say, cancellation of sorts. Some might say that. Because it's the ultimate, like getting shanked, getting getting Shinzo ABE, now you know meat, is technically, that's the ultimate cancellation. You're no longer capable of producing good music. You're no longer out there being your best self in your prime, which is a goddamn shame. So, in terms of common ground, let us look at our own culture and our own sphere and our own realm and see if we can find attempted cancellations and see if we could go anywhere with them. Anywhere, literally. To be honest with you, initially starting, again, I'm learning as I go. To be honest, when I was younger, around 2 years ago, and we're coming to our, oh man, it's gotta be on, guys, you guys, no, I didn't forget, it's gonna be our anniversary this week. No, I'm not getting you guys flowers. Yes, we're all not gonna have sex. I'm not having sex. Why should you? You're saying I should have sex. I'd like to at one point, but I'm put my career first. That's right. Haha. Break up with your girlfriend, thinking you're gonna focus more on your career. Now we're just masturbating. Good times. Now you do make the bed that you sleep in, and you do grow from every experience. It's been a while, your boy's loosely out there, but again, emphasis on the loose and, you know, doing things. But the point is that you know, what is a cancellation? A cancellation is when you're like, you know, you hear something, you see something, you say something, you hear something, you don't like it, you're like, cancel it. I don't like that. Whatever it is, I don't like that. It offended me. I'm offended. You've gone done, did it. You've offended me. I'd like you to be canceled and eliminated, you know, somehow. That is a form of, you know, so because I look for the learning experience in everything. We're learning so much on a daily basis. I think this should be used as a great example to highlight the fact that how much we need freedom of speech and freedom of expression. You know? People should be able to take jokes. People should be able to take comments. People should be able to take criticism even. And people should be able to take different opinions and be okay with having different opinions. You don't always need to go and convince somebody to see things through your eyes, or see things through your being, your lens, through your brain, mind body interface with the world. You don't need to go. That's so much work to convince everybody to do things the way you'd like to have them do things. So much work, and I don't like that, because I like simplicity. Keep it simple, stupid, is what my dad would have said if he were around, but he's not, and I'm okay with that now. We've come a long way. We all have, haven't we? The point is that what is a cancellation? That we were talking about. What is a cancellation? A cancellation is essentially, you know, certain topics you might have a tendency to want to cancel or censor, and although this form of cancellation is not as severe as the recently demonstrated forms of cancellation, it is the starting ground. It is the cesspool in which we're breeding potential cancelers of all sorts out there. And one day it starts with, you know, questioning what is the government doing in regards to bodily autonomy and medicine, and dictating to you where you can go, where you can't go, when can you open your business, when can you close your business, and everything else in between. You all know the whole jazz. I'm not going to go over with you, you know what it is, but those are essentially examples of mild, or rather harsh. Again, everything's perspective, and it's you know, yeah. So that is the groundwork of a perhaps this is what I'm trying to say, is that perhaps we can take this as an opportunity to allow everybody's voices to be heard. There are no silly questions, although I prefer the sillier the better. That's my motto when it comes to conversations and the bedroom. Haha. Oh man. But what were we talking about? We were talking about Cancellations, that's right. So next time you go around getting offended by either a joke or a book or a song or a movie or just somebody existing, instead of attempting to cancel them in any facet, why don't you try to, you know, hear them out and shit. And if that doesn't work, there's plenty of other shit for you. Because guess what? There's like 8 billion of us out there. There's plenty of shit for you to do out there. That's what I'm saying. That's love, man. So yeah, how do we bridge the gap? The common, we must start on common ground. Not up there, down here rather. This is where it starts, with real humans, you and me, getting out there and talking to people, getting everyone's opinions, getting everybody's thoughts, getting everyone's 2 cents on the matter, and then letting better speech triumph, if possible, if we're shanking it to death. Good God. How's it going, man? Nice. I did pick a spot today that is familiar to some and also not as populated. I came here for a different reason because I wanted to be able to speak a little bit, you know, without having to overstretch the old vocal cords, but we'll see if we'll get a chance to speak with anybody. And again, if not, that's all right too. The point is, out of all the methods of cancellations, which one would I prefer? Getting slapped, shanked, or shot? None of the above, ever. But I mean, if it came down to it, I'd pick the slap, dude. I don't want to, obviously, but hypothetical situations, you never know. You never know. How does one combat cancel culture? By growing a pair, both ladies and men, everybody, putting it out there, standing up for what you believe in, but also take a rest every once in a while. Remain in your seats. Remain calm and collected. We need better examples to lead by. So therefore, I suggest instead of, we need to put out some, because cancellation, if cancellation was a product, it's been getting a lot of PR. So we need to, you know, put some PR on reverse cancellations. Some people out there need to legit we need to go out there and randomly just, what's the opposite of cancellation? Promotion? We need to, literally, it's in the name, dude. Public relations, promote. We need somebody, I need to promote something extra to counterbalance the cancellations. What am I gonna promote out there? What's the next big thing since sliced bread and CD-ROMs filled with CDs and disklets? Little discs. What's the next evolution? Cheesy puffs. Cheese puffs? No, we've already got cheese puffs. Anything. Fungus. Toe fungus. Herpes? What do you guys feel like we should promote for the sake of undoing the canceling that's going on? And I gotta say, when I was younger, oh yeah, that's before man, you keep getting sidetracked out there, and I want you to stay focused. It's been roughly 2 years that we've been doing this, and prior to just starting, I really didn't know much. Again, learning. I didn't know cancel culture was quote-unquote real, but I've seen different forms of it, and it is real. It's impacted everybody. Comics, reg people, politicians, reg people, businesses, everyday folks. Remember when everybody got canceled because you were told by somebody to go inside and do, and you're like, man, well, that's water on the bridge. It is, dude. I'm just bringing up examples so we can learn not to do those things. Not like dwelling in the past ever. I'm in the future. You're watching this in the future, as a matter of fact. That's how far ahead we are together. So don't be telling me about time, dude. Past, present, future. I'm on top of that shit. But I didn't believe it. But then again, I started to pay attention. I started to see different people, different reasons getting, and it came to a screeching halt. Something inside me said, pull the handbrakes. Pull the handbrakes. That someone inside me said that. And I did, and I started to look, and before you know it, people were getting canceled. Some with good reason, you know, like a Weinstein fella. Good, excellent. I think that's a clear example, I think. Again, I personally don't know, but I think from overall, as it appears, in clear need of cancellation. People who don't need cancellations. We need Chappelle, ever, doesn't need it, never asked for it, never wanted it, never a fan from what I gather. Yet attempted cancellations. My goodness. So, where do we have things in common? The common ground is that we both, the East and the West, both, or anybody else for that, we all have commonality and are extremists. That's right. We can find happiness and a sense of assurance that we all have extremists to ruin everything. So and that is common ground. That is positive news, because who can't point to someone in their community, in the human community, and be like, that fella is an extremist? And sometimes they look different. Sometimes a guy may be called an imam, which is like a throw off. And if you read the Wikipedia page in there, it says blah, 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 blah. If you read the Wikipedia page of the, the imam who sent out the fat one, in the description you'll come across words that may be misleading, or at least they should be questioned. Like you'll read blah, 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 talking about his, and then imam, scholar. That's what I like to call BS, okay? Not a scholar, because if we're using scholar for any old fella with a fucking robe over his shoulders, that's a loose use of the term. And if entire people lose an entire way of life because how did it all happen, questions that I sometimes, not really anymore, but it is, after all, my world clashing with the rest of the world, and I love our world. And yeah, that is a question that I wonder about sometimes. How do people let a dude in a robe tell them what to do? Weird. Because you don't see that shit here ever. You might see a fella in a robe, you might give him some change or a loose cig, dude, but that's it. Not gonna be like, how should I live my life? But again, loose use of the term scholar for one imam, a whole good array of them. And again, what do I know? So, we have commonalities. Over there exists extreme. Here, not so much, but time and again, as we do know, extreme voices, as little as they may be, they make a lot of noise. So you might be hearing things that are sounding maybe dogmatic, maybe not even based on science or fact anymore, that may be stemming from a place of just pure belief, dogmatic belief, like, you know, getting children to go to fucking transgender meetings or some shit like that. I don't know the whole gist of it because I don't have babies and I'm not that invested in the whole thing. But after all, there should be balance. Transgenders, if you're above the legal age of transgendering, do it. Leave the babies alone. Balance. And the same thing, it's just like, you know, it's, you know, leave the state separate from the church or some along those lines. I know. But it's nice to talk about these things. I think, again, the important thing is that we can all find common ground. So, I leave it up to you as the viewers and listeners of this show. Of course, the entire media, the corporate media will be, I'm sure they'll be focusing in on news like this, because, you know, we had roughly a good month of Chris Rock and Will Smith interwebbing together, interfacing. So that was, and this is, you're like, Sal Rushdie is nowhere as big as Will Smith. Listen, it's, first of all, he's a UK rapper. It's a different vibe. He would like to break out into different markets. Give him a chance. He's a good kid. Good man. Again, I don't know. It's not like I don't have access to UK pop charts magazine, dude. I'm here in Canada. What do I know about the UK? Are you okay? Are we all okay? We're all okay? You're all okay. Good. Excellent. Excellent. And it's moments like this that, again, I think we should take opportunities and realize what we're dealing with. If anybody's celebrating that kind of behavior out there, really, it's, if there were any questions as to who you were dealing with, just releasing fat ones into the ether like that, huh? All willy-nilly. And you can't even, apparently these fat ones, you can't even, whoever releases the fat ones is responsible for the fat ones. Once you release it into the wild, dude, once you release a fat one into the wild, the only person who can retrieve the fat one is the fat one releaser. It's kind of like a boomerang, but like not one of those like fun boomerangs that come back. It's like the hunting ones, the longer, more slender ones. Oh, or something. So I don't know how exactly it works, but perhaps, you know, I don't know. How do you guys want to counter the fat ones? I suggest keto, dude. I suggest keto. I suggest a healthy dose of stress. A healthy dose of stress. Underrated, healthy dose of stress. We eliminate the fat ones. No, different types of fat ones. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to, you know, I bring it all, dude. I don't want to leave anything off this table. Common ground, not a table. Common ground, that's it. So, you heard a voice from all over. That guy, remember that guy we brought in? Our correspondent? Our Middle Eastern / Sub-Saharan correspondent. What a wonderful young man. Reminded me of somebody I knew. But regardless, you know, maybe he'll be back. We'll see. I'd like to thank you all for being a part of my life, letting me be a part of yours. This is, again, a wonderful journey, and I'm enjoying every step out of it. Every step of it. Stuttered there with the step of it. Came out step it. I'm enjoying every step of it. Learning, growing, fighting eczema, one day at a time. Where can you find these videos? Again, on YouTube for the full-length videos, on Instagram for the chopped up, dude. I'm like the El Chapo of the video game, chopping it up, slicing and dicing. Yeah, and that pure pour, you're not getting that fentanyl shit up in this bitch. pure raw videos. You guys don't see the process of how the sausage gets made, but I have young adolescent illiterate children in the jungle stomping on videos so that you and I can enjoy the freshest form of untampered with video. Where else would they say they're willing to make that kind of sacrifice? Listen, I gave all my boys and ladies, there's a few more boys than ladies now, all of them have been equipped with machetes, with enough cacao leaves to have them operating at full throttle, and there's no backing down. There is no sitting down. Also, it's a 12-hour shift. Let's go. If you'd like to see any of those young men and women get a pay raise, you can go to Patreon and support your boy. Maybe I'll consider it. But then again, if you don't crack the whip every once in a while, how are they gonna show up? It's a respect sort of thing. I don't, do I enjoy my work? I don't like telling people what to do. I'd love people to just do their jobs. I try to lead by example. Easier said than done. Sure, I've got my off days. Don't we all have our off days? Haven't you ever had? That was a psych, dude. We never have off days. Because if you have, there are plenty of people that can replace you out there. How do we get here? Doesn't matter, fam. The important thing is that what makes this world go round and round is love. Love. Some say it's gravity, rotation, money, business. I say it's love. So I'll leave you with that. I'll be back here again on Wednesday. It's an exciting week. Let's go get it together. Fat ones for everybody, baby. Peace out.